All right, how you guys doing? We're talking DFS for the Daytona 500. Now, I got a little schedule this morning. Let me go ahead and make sure I got YouTube mute on my end. So I'm going to be doing this here. I'm going to be joining Sheets on True DFS at 11, and I'm going to let him be in charge of that. I'm just going to hang out and chat with him for a bit because he invited me on this morning. Secondly, I am going to probably spend the first 10 minutes, maybe 15, going over the different roads in this race. I am trying to do more in the paywall, area for everybody on Patreon. So if you're a part of the Patreon and one person just joined Patreon, it usually takes around 15 minutes to go through. Once that money goes through, I will add you to the sheets and everything. Anywho, I am trying to do more behind the paywall, and so I've been, putting out lineup videos, like me building my own lines, whether they cash or not, so you see what I'm doing. I did an hour-long video last night, like really diving into lineups that people are going to play, where projections are going to go in terms of ownership, and not like just me being like, well, play guys from the back. Like, I actually went through like a majority of the drivers, showed you lineups in the MME tool, how you can use that to determine ownership, how you can use that to get an idea of how people are going to want to play and things like that. So if this video comes across as me just like giving the thumbs up to everybody, I'm not purposely trying to do that, but it's Daytona. If you want like a more intense breakdown or like really diving into lineups being constructed, if you aren't satisfied with this one, you can join the Patreon and it's going to be up. And then, hey, you might be like, I'd like to see what you were doing. That video, and I plan on doing this for every Patreon-only video, those videos will go live, like to the public, once like that slate locks, okay? So people can see what I'm offering and stuff in the background, on top of the sheets, on top of supporting me on Patreon, on top of, answering people. Like this morning, woke up at 8, just answering people like crazy on Patreon, and not necessarily, one-word responses, asking what's going on, what's going on here, how do you run this. I'm here to help you guys, okay? That's my product placement. That's my, please join me, support. Oh, and support the streams as well, because we're highly debating on keeping either these live or behind the paywall. If you want to keep them live, we need to see some super chats or just more people join the Patreon. That's how it is. So when we look at the Daytona 500, everybody knows how I'm going to attack this race. Everybody knows how I want to approach it. However, let me go ahead and move my thing over here. Let's go ahead and really talk about the different ways that people are going to approach this race, and I will read chat in a minute. I really want to get through the, my spiel, my just how everything's going to go. So this Daytona 500, as yesterday's Xfinity Series leans to, like, yesterday's Xfinity Series race, we lost a lot of people who usually ride, Timmy Hill, Vargas, Stacy, Balicki. A lot of people who we trust in DFS didn't make the race, and so the Xfinity Series really turned into nearly everybody in the back were just dum-dums who are going to race, okay? We have a very similar situation here today, to where we don't necessarily have those clear, defined back markers, okay? And yes, I'm saying that, like, clearly Connor Daly, Ware, BJ, yes, we all fall into that category. They all fall into that category. But in the grand scheme of things, when we look at let's really focus on like the last 10 guys and just kind of go through them, okay? Not actually. Let's talk about from Denny Hamlin on back real fast. Who has a real chance of being optimal today? Okay, regardless of ownership, regardless of whatever way you want to approach this. Who has a high chance of being optimal? That's Denny Hamlin, that's William Byron, that's Daniel Suarez, Jones, Reddick, Austin Dillon, Haley, AJ, Chase Briscoe, Stenhouse, Ty Gibbs, Kyle Busch, Jimmy Johnson, Travis Pastrana. Okay, now I understand I just named around 12 people there, but we can still have wild shit happen, and I would imagine the optimal lineup is going to contain at least 3 of those drivers that I just stated. Okay, and the reason why this is, in my opinion, probably the most difficult plate race in terms of amount of entries we have, amount of, look, I'm not going to be like, if you join us, you're going to win the Millionaire Maker. Like, anybody saying that's just full of shit, because every site's saying that, and only one person's going to win it. But in terms of actually, like, building a lineup that is going to score well today, there's a lot of possibilities that can either rise or sink lineups, okay? So, like Denny Hamlin, starting 18th. Hamlin is either going to finish top 5 or finish 30th. Suarez, going to finish top 5 or finish 30th. Jones, Reddick, Austin Dillon, Justin Haley. You can even throw A.J. Allmendinger in there because back at his day, he would ride well and race. I don't know if he's going to approach that or have that same philosophy now that he's with Colleague, with the second car who he's worked with in the Xfinity Series race, and you know how they've won all those races. They've been up there racing, okay? Yes, Jimmy Johnson, Travis Pastrana, like, I imagine Travis is going to run or ride, but like he's starting 40th. He's starting dead last. He's going to carry ownership. There's a real chance that he doesn't even do anything crazy and just finishes 18th, and guess what? He's going to be optimal. There's a real chance that there are a lot of people back here that score in the 50s. Typically, when we look at optimal lineups, we're looking at people scoring in the 40s, high 40s, low 50s. Now, when I just look at projections, now I don't necessarily use projections like end-all, be-all at plate races, but Wallace, Hamlin, Jones, Reddick, Austin Dillon, Haley, you know, Chase Briscoe, Stenhouse, Kyle Busch, Ty Dillon, Jimmy Johnson. These are people who pop off as have a real potential of scoring over 45 points today, okay? And so if you're building lineups, regardless if you're stacking from the back or just playing the good guys in the back, a lot of lineups are going to end up playing the same drivers. As I said, that's why I made a Patreon video, like looking at lineups that are going to be built, like how normal people would approach them, how a majority are going to approach them, and that have a high likelihood of being optimal. Okay, we haven't even touched on BJ, we haven't even touched on Cody Ware, Riley Herbst, because they are going to need multiple wrecks. They are going to need multiple people to spin out. Now, if you have a player pool of just, you know, Wallace, Hamlin, the guys that I've just mentioned time and time again, you know, that like 12, 13 drivers or something, hey, well, guess what? There's going to be a lot of people with that same player pool, okay? So, you can either approach this race in a sense of, you know, I'm going to play the good guys in the back, and they should finish up there, or they should at least run in the top 15 coming with 5 to go. Now, if they kill each other at that point, that's on them, okay? But, like, we have a lot of Toyotas in the back. We have a lot of good drivers in the back, a lot of Chevys in the back that are going to move up together. Chase Briscoe had a flying fast car in qualifying, understood that, hey, we're too loose in the draft. Road made a lot of changes, went out and practiced, adjusted the car for drafting. So, like, even if you're like, well, you really haven't mentioned Chase Briscoe, look, if you're pivoting off of somebody like Reddick or Jones, people are going to go to Briscoe. People are going to go to Stenhouse. Okay? And so, like, those are the main drivers that I would see in most situations, regardless of how this race plays out, being optimal. Okay? Pivots from those guys, as I just said, Chase Briscoe and Ricky Stenhouse Jr., okay, not the most glamorous names to play when we're looking at this area of names, but Stenhouse, look, say what you will, okay, the guy, yeah, sure, he's aggressive, you know, Ricky Stenhouse, he wrecks a lot of people. You know what he does a lot too? He wins a lot of plate races and he finishes top 5. Yet again, Stenhouse will either finish top 5 or cause a big wreck, okay? That's why I'm saying, like, the Millionaire Maker, that winning lineup, what? Why? Like, excuse me? Dude, you're going to land on that through luck alone. It's not going to be being built. This is a wildly wide open slate that leans towards, you know, like 12-ish guys there. We haven't really focused on Gregson, you know, Ryan Priest, you know, Suarez, Chastain. They're going to ride together. They're going to be together. Like, this slate is wide open. Okay, so that's my first analogy, or not my first analogy, but my first analyzation of this slate. Secondly, for me, yes, I'm going to play, specifically in a race like this, I'm going to play ownership. That's just how it is. Everything that I just stated, you know, if you're, like, not insane, that's how you're going to approach it. If you're like me, who's like, I don't care about the drivers, I'm literally just going to play low-owned guys. Especially in races like this where we have a ton of casuals playing. Like, look, people are going to play Alex Bowman, Kyle Larson, Joey Logano, Eric Almirola, Bell, Cindric, Blaney, Chase Elliott. Like, if you're playing, in my opinion, if you're playing Blaney, Elliott, if you're playing anybody in the top 9, you're free money, you know? You're paying the rake, you know? Those drivers right there will probably count at least 20% of all lineups in most contests, okay? And I'm not necessarily talking about the 44-33, but like the main 25, look, let me see real fast. Let me look at something real quick. So if you're looking at like the main $25, okay, we got 106,000 entries in this race. 30,000 dead on arrival. 30,000 woke up today, said, you know what? I'm just going to lose money. I'm going to play the pole sitter. I am going to play Alex Bowman and just pay the rake. Okay, so like anyway, that's my take. I just want to play low, guys. That's where I'm at. So thank you for listening to my ramble for the first 12-ish minutes. Let's start going through chat. Let's start seeing how you guys are doing here today. And thank you very much, the 60 of you guys being here and joining me. And yeah, I do appreciate it. Let me start looking at chat over here. Let me mute that. Let's see. Let me go ahead. So, right, I'm looking at all the, okay, yeah, I am. Let's go. What's going on, man? Kay, happy to have you. By the way, we got screwed at the end of the truck race. It was I mean, dude, I've lost more money on rainouts, and Friday was no exception. That's just how it goes, man. Oh, well. And then, look, NASCAR, and at this point, we'll kind of rant because I just kind of analyze what I want to do. I'll answer more DFS questions, but we're mainly here to hang out and have some fun since I got that stuff out of the way. I know NASCAR is like, look, we got practice at like 8:30 a.m. We need to have these people sleep. I mean, you guys are the ones who made the dumbass schedule to where you have practice like on Saturday when that practice should have been before qualifying. Like, really, I know several people at Daytona who are probably in the minority of like wanting to get that race in. Like, I don't know. Like, are you kidding me? Like, who's like, just call it. Like, I was in Discord hanging with people, and there's one guy who like makes a good argument of like, yeah, they need to call the race. Like, these people need to go home and rest. And I'm like, dude, F that. This is Daytona. F that. Anyway, I love that both times. Like, Bubba Wallace, yeah, Talladega, we might want to install lights, but it stopped raining, last night or Friday. Zane Smith, look, it stopped raining as soon as they fucking called it, okay? Like, come on, man. Who cares if it races at 2 a.m.? I don't care. Like, what? Whatever. What's going on, Doug? Happy to have you here. Let's go. Who do you have to win today? So in terms of winning, in terms of, Charlie Sheen winning, let's see. I have, right now, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have 7 guys projected for a top 5 today. Like, I don't project, oddly enough, this whole week, my highest projected finisher has won the fucking race. So I'm happy to have that. But today, I have Logano, Almirola, Ryan Blaney, Chase Elliott, Brad Keselowski, Bubba Wallace, and Denny Hamlin as my highest projected finishers. Not DFS points, but I have all those guys projected for a top 5. Clearly, that's more than 5 drivers, but that's just where my projections are at. Greg Gillen at 1250 is down to 3,400. Yeah, we'll see. Look, I don't bet. I can't bet it here in Texas. So a lot of these, like, I don't know. I hope so. I don't think he's going to win, but if he does, hopefully that'll work for you. Also, another thing with like betting content and stuff like this, somebody mentioned this in the Discord as well. Like, if you're watching videos and stuff on like betting, like by the time that's uploaded, like if that line is still the same, is that really a good line? Like what? Like most lines are going to change from the time you hear whoever you're listening to say that they're betting this, and then I hope this isn't squeaking a lot. Between like when they bet it and then like when it goes live and stuff. So like I don't know, that stuff's kind of I wouldn't do that. So when $0 for last week 0-7. Yeah, that's just how it is. Glad you and your Sheets are working together. Yeah. Well, I mean, Sheets and I necessarily, like, we're not necessarily working together, but we talk a lot. We enjoy hanging out and goofing around. And a lot of the times, last year and a couple years before, I'd hop on like a Thursday or Wednesday or something and, just talk racing and stuff. I like Sheets. We have a very similar process. I think the way he does a lot of his live shows are just kind of more laid back and chill. And I just like talking to Sheets. He's a very, very smart guy. And he's been doing this a long time, and he brings a lot from his poker experience to like this type of stuff. Anyway, I just like chilling with Sheets and stuff, so that'll be pretty fun. Thanks for going live. Oh yeah, thank you, Adam. Electric Tricks Infinity. Hopefully that'll change today. Yeah, this has been a fucking brutal week. This racing has sucked. This has been the worst Daytona opening ever, dude. It's been terrible. Truck and ARCA, we ran more laps under yellow in those 2 races than we did green. And nobody wrecked. Like, that's so lame. At least we flipped Sam Mayer over last night. That kind of helped. But yet again, those idiots, like, what are we doing? I'm so glad. I love Hamlin, dude. I used to dislike Hamlin a lot, but the guy is spitting straight fire. Like, what the fuck are you guys doing? If you're running 12, dude, hop to the bottom. Like, shout out to Parker Kligerman. You know, he may have. I'd love that he walled Earnhardt. Like, I'll probably cut it and upload later. Like, look, you ride, you die. You don't go for the win, you die. Jeffrey Earnhardt riding in line, he gets fenced by somebody actually riding. Okay, Dale Earnhardt chooses to ride for once, helps his team out, dies. Like, you ride at Daytona, you die. Like, you have to go and race for the win. Like, shout out to Kligerman. You know, Junior Motorsports, you ride all day. Well, guess what? Now you turn Brandon Jones, like, you died. And then you flip your own teammate, Sam Mayer, you died. Like, you just go and race. What are we doing? It makes no sense, especially the idiots, like, running outside top 12. What the fuck are you doing just running the outside lane? Are you content with finishing 13th? Like, what? Like, I don't get, like, especially, like, specifically if you're running 6th, you hop to the bottom, you're not winning that race. Somebody in 4th or 3rd is going to jump down in front of you. Like, are you just content on running 6th? Like, what? It makes no sense. These guys are idiots. Let's see. What's going on, Fast Cars, Fast Money? Happy to have you here. How do you feel about Reddick today? Reddick, good. I mean, look, everybody you ask me here, I'm going to say he looks good, okay? But Reddick, Toyota, look, he's going to run specifically with Denny Hamlin. He's going to run specifically with Bubba Wallace. He's going to run specifically with Ty Gibbs. That Toyota brigade should stick together and be together all day. The fact that he's with 2311, he's going to run with Bubba Wallace and Denny Hamlin. Like, everybody's good back there. That's just how it is. Want to give out your Kyle boot? I mean, I don't know what Kyle's going to come in at. I would assume 50 to 60%. I don't know. Jimmy Johnson, no clue. I mean, as I said, I was Sterling, you have the video and stuff. I mean, those aren't necessarily like rock solid numbers because it's a plate race. I mean, Name and Me tool will help you find like who's chalk based on what. If you're using projections that are going to be somewhat accurate for the race, you can very easily determine projections there. But like when we were looking at the when we were looking at the where are we at here? Johnson will probably push 45, I'm guessing. Probably anywhere from like 38 to 48, if not a bit higher. The saving grace, which is why at this point, like, yeah, sure. Connor Daly's about the only guy that I don't think I'm going to play. I don't want to get on him. You want to talk about low-owned Connor Daly, probably the lowest-owned guy here. But, like, ownership will follow Pastrana, Johnson, Kyle Busch, Gibbs, Stenhouse, Briscoe, everybody, between, like, 25th and 31st. We're gonna have really low ownership on BJ. We're going to have really low ownership on Ware and Herbst and stuff like that. But, yeah, Jimmy Johnson, like I said, probably anywhere from 38 to probably 48, if not a bit higher, probably in the 50s. We'll see. We're going to have a ton of guys probably in the 50s and 40s and just a huge drop-off. Probably huge 50s and 40s. Hell, I mean, fucking Kyle might push 60. And then we'll probably have a few guys in the 40s, a few guys in the 30s, big drop-offs like mid-20s and stuff. So I think that's how it's going to go there. Look, I said in the video last night. So, I mean, I don't really necessarily have a budget week to week. I'll keep on redepositing, but I do have like allocated money for each weekend. And boys, we've had a fucking rough week. That's just how it is. Look, put 150 towards the duels, got that, rolled that with some more into Xfinity, and lost 360 there. Okay, then I put in another. What did I put in yesterday? 180 to 30. I don't remember. Anyway, dude, I'm down like fucking like 580 this week, or this weekend between these last 2 days, if not close to 600. So I got I really don't want to just deposit fucking stupid ass money into the 500, specifically here, because I would either just I don't necessarily want to throw it into the 25. So I'm just doing a single entry lineup with the remaining money that I've allocated for the 500, and that is $150. So I'm playing just one line in everything, saying fuck it, because I think if 25 would be the one that I want to play it in, but like I don't necessarily just want like 4 or 5 lineups in the 25. I just figured, fuck it, I'll just play low owned guys and just target all the single entry, and like the 44, 33, we'll just go ahead and do that. So I'm just doing one line today. So in terms of where I'm going to personally be, I'm either playing somebody or I'm not, and I'm not entirely sure what I'm doing with Jimmy yet. Do we just fade Kyle and Jimmy and embrace the chaos? I would do that. I'm going to do that because I'm doing one line. Now, if I was going to do 20, I would probably want to be under the field with Kyle Busch. And now, coming from me, because I have done full fades on Hamlin in situations where he started farther back, and even in situations like here, it has worked out for me sometimes. It hasn't worked out for me sometimes. Okay? That is very aggressive. For Kyle Busch, I would want to have some today. If I was going to do 20 lines, I would probably end up around 35% Kyle Busch today. And I would absolutely just play him. If I was playing Kyle Busch, if you are going to play Kyle Busch, you need to play at least 2 of BJ, Ware, Ty Dillon's going to carry a lot of ownership too, but him as well, possibly even Connor Daly. Okay, I understand he's ugly, but this is a situation where if you're playing Kyle Busch, probably going to be around 50. Like if you're going to play chalk, like seriously, if you're going to play Pastrana, Johnson, Kyle Busch, Reddick, Hamlin, you better finish that fucking lineup with Connor Daly. Otherwise, you're going to have duplicated lines. And I'm not one to be like, I don't want to be duplicated and stuff. But, like, Kyle's going to have astronomical ownership. You have to absolutely play somebody who's going to be low-owned if you're playing Kyle Busch. So if I was going to do 35% Kyle Busch, I would absolutely make sure that all my lines are playing some slow, shitbox drivers, That's what I would do there. Let's see. Thank you very much, Eagles. I do appreciate it. 71 of you guys here this morning. Thank you very, very much for joining me. I do appreciate it. Let's see. What would be your best top 3 bet pick? Dude, no offense, Jason, I don't give a shit about top 3s. I truly don't give a shit about top 3s. I would just take, at this point, all the odds, as I said, like you don't bet the day of, whether it's this or football, whatever the case is. The best lines are like a week out when they first drop. So the best lines probably in my sense would be like Ty Dillon top 3, but I would have like bet that like 2 weeks ago, week and a half ago or something like that. We can look at, I'll go look at some bets for you, but first off, I don't bet here in Texas, and I guarantee you they're probably all dog shit at this point. So let's go ahead and look at, what is this? Cool. DraftKings, you are now, whatever. All right, so let's look at this. NASCAR Cup Series future. Let's see. Top 3. These guys are all, like Larson, plus 400. These are, let's see, man. These are all fucking rough. Ty Dillon, plus 5,000 for a top 3. No, that's top. That's top 3. Yeah, that's top 3. Probably Ty Dillon. Ty Dillon, Zane Smith. Realistically, Ty Gibbs as well. I mean, these are still not necessarily odds that I'd want with. If you could do parlays like you did last time, you could. Top 5, I think anybody, probably from, I'm looking at DraftKings, probably anywhere from AJ Allmendinger down for top 5. But those would be the guys there. But, I mean, at this point, those odds have pretty much shifted and stuff from where your good lines would be. Oh, excuse me. Let's see. Got lucky with Barry run out of gas that put me in my and spotter and cut my life. Yeah, shout out to fucking Chevys, man. I don't know what it is. I don't know if I'm gonna. I mean, we don't necessarily have a lot of content for the supercut in this one, so I might just upload individual clips and stuff following this week. But Chevy's done this for the past couple of years in the duels. I don't know why they short pit. I don't know why Chevy. And it's not just this week. It's not like, that's how you know people don't pay attention, because they're just like, why are they doing it this week? Chevy always does this. These idiots always do that. As soon as they hit their window, they pit. Like, what? If you got 47 laps left and your fuel mileage is 47 laps, why? Why do you pit like right when you get in the wind. That makes no sense at all. They are running this like a road course. They always do that. I don't get it at all. They pit way too early. And first off, they're not organized enough to do it. But then they're like, bam, we're in our window. We got to pit now. Like, what? They did in the duels. They fucked over JRM. Who else ran out of fuel? Somebody else ran out of fuel taking that green, white, checkered. It was a Chevy team who pitted with, like, what? You got... It's not that major, okay? You stay out for one more lap, you're fine. Like, I understand when you stretch your fuel mileage and pit, like, right before you run out, that's fine. But, like, doing it backwards to where you pit, like, right when you hit that window, that makes no sense at all. That is so stupid. What's your thoughts on Briscoe? I already stated that. If I answer your question now, I'm going to be like, yeah, he looks good. But as I said, like, I can say yes to everybody here. You can go back and listen to the first 10 minutes where I'm kind of going over people, or you can join the Patreon and, you know, just have me kind of go down each and every driver. You know, I'm not necessarily like holding things back, but like here in this race, anybody is viable. Let's see, I got one line with Kyle Busch, Pastrana, Jimmy with over 6K left. Hope that keeps a little different. Salary doesn't matter here. It just depends on ownership here. So that Kyle Busch, Pastrana, Jimmy Johnson line, this is just here. Let me search that real fast. I just want to see. This is just my random MME tool. That combination, I have. Let me see this here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we're already at 10%. 16, 17. So just with the tool that I ran, this was just kind of last night goofing around, I have that in 17 lines. So 17 out of 150 lines have those 3 drivers together, okay? I think the public's going to be way higher on that. That's just based on me, because this is only using 8% of Travis Pastrana in these 150 lines, and he was in 7. That 3-driver combination was in 17 lines. So hope you're playing some low guys in that line, because people are going to play that line. People are going to play those 3 guys. That I would not be shocked if people are like, that's a core that I want to play. That's my cash core. You know, you got Jimmy Johnson, Travis Pastrana, Kyle Busch. That's my cash core. Man, my article's done. Like, come on. We've all been through this before, guys. We all know how it is. Tyler, hope you got some guys, man. Hope you got some different guys in there. Any feelings on Zane Smith? No, I'm not playing. I mean, if you want to pivot off of Hamlin, go right ahead. But personally, for me, I would much rather. I mean, I have Zane Smith and Truex in the player pool on the heat map and stuff, even Wallace and Hamlin. But I think we're gonna, like, if Zane Smith's optimal, clearly he's gonna finish up front, and we're gonna have some major place differential guys get involved in some wrecks and stuff. So even if I was doing a lot of lines, I would probably not get to Zane Smith today, or I'd maybe get him in like 1 or 2 lines. But him starting 17th, I would probably project Zane Smith to finish around 15th to 12th, somewhere around there, and that is not going to get you the amount of what is it called? The amount of points that you would need. Like, I think I'm giving him 15th right now on these projections at 31 points, whereas we're going to have a lot of guys, as I've stated before, in the high 40s, low 50s. So Zane Smith would need to really get himself up into the top 8 there. Yeah, dude. Trucks is rough. Haley AJ, they're going to be stuck together like twins. They're going to work together. That's why, like, this is the most, probably one of the most frustrating slates ever. Like, this would be, like, honestly, if you were running, like, Fantasy Cruncher or whatever you use, if you just have a pool of Wallace, Hamlin, I'll throw Pearce, Byron, Gregson, Chastain, Suarez, Jones, Reddick, Austin Dillon, Haley, AJ, Briscoe, Stenhouse, Gibbs, Kyle Busch, Johnson, Pastrana. So that is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18. That's 18 drivers. If you just threw that in a fantasy cruncher, I think that is what a majority of lineups are going to have. You know, if you throw in Ty Dillon in there based on his finishes and then like some of the other guys in the back, you'll have a player pool of probably 20 guys that this thing builds lines for. And I think that's what a lot of people are going to pull from their CSV and just throw that into lines and stuff. Like this is a absolute, like, I don't know, man. This is I mentioned this in the video last night. Like this is either a race that you would want to do one lineup for or 150 for. Like I think if you're doing 3 laps today, you're just gonna end up pissed off. That's just how. Like if you're doing like 7 laps today, you're just gonna end up pissed off. You're just gonna end up being like, what the fuck was this for? Man, this is a fucking waste of time. Like this is a very, very, very hard slate to nail. I think the optimal will be played, especially if it's guys in the back. But this is just one to where I think you, personally, for me, I think you want to take advantage of the cons of using optimizers and really go in there and hand build to get different. That's just where I'm at there. Let's see. Who's your top, lowest 3? Dude, don't ask me that fucking question, man. You like my lowest owned guy is probably gonna be probably Todd Gilliland starting 14th. Do you want to play him? No. Like Harrison Burton starting 19th. Do you necessarily want to play him? No. You know, maybe Christopher Bell starting 5th. You know, congratulations, you've now reached the lowest three owned guys, and they're fucking useless for a reason. Just one line, because I can't get left in the dust when I do hit. Just like that. What? Tyler, I can't read that sentence, dude. I think Ford can take this race. I have no idea, dude. I don't care. I don't care who wins this race. I don't care what manufacturer wins this race. As long as they flip somebody, as long as we have wrecks, that's all that matters. If I was going to bet a manufacturer, I would bet Toyota. That's just where I'm at. Because you have Wallace, you have Hamlin, you have, you have Reddick, you have a lot of Toyotas are going to run strong today. And they probably got better odds than Ford and Chevy. But if that's what you think. Yeah, Run Pure Sports recommending pairing Haley and Deegan, or Haley and Dinger. Yeah, like I said, really going on an edge. No fault of their own. That's just how this race is. I remember I was watching the race last night, and this was after the yellow came out, and somebody, kind of jokingly said, like, well, the winner is either going to be Austin Dillon or John Nemechek. Like, yeah, brother, really going on a limb there. Like, no shit, it's going to be one of those guys. Like, yeah, no shit. You should probably pair, if you want to play Haley and AJ, playing them together makes a lot of sense. You can play them both independently of each other, but they are probably going to run together. That's just how it is. Like I said, this is a frustrating slate to come from a content creator side of like building stuff for. This is not mailing it in, but like if I had to write a fucking article, like my article would sound the exact same as everybody else's. So I'm sure my video right now kind of sounds like everybody else's, but I'm trying to at least explain why that is. Let's see. I have 21 lineups. What are your suggestions? Jim. Come on, Earthworm Jim. What are we doing? Oh no. I was about to say I'm listening to. I have the video. Here you're gonna hear some ugly ass feedback, but I have the video over here on my end, and I haven't had any audio issues the entire time. Or at least on my end. It might be your connection, but on me the audio is coming in clearly on YouTube on my end over here. I think it was just your connection for a second there. 74 of you guys here. Thank you very much for joining me on this Sunday. As I stated earlier, I'm going to be joining Sheets on TrueDFS at the top of the hour here. Kind of just going to hang out with him and answer or talk about whatever he wants to talk about. Sheets is a good guy. He understands what he's doing. He's always live. Like That's how I know, like, this space is pretty criminal. Like, Sheets should be getting way more viewers because he just go lives every day and talks DFS. It's wild how much you can learn from Sheets. It's absolutely nuts, and really nobody watches the live shows and stuff, you know. And it's not going to be a sense of I go on him or you know, like, I guess we could start ranting some more, and I've kind of talked about this a lot this week and stuff. But like, bro, a lot of content out there fucking blows. It sucks. Absolutely sucks. Dude, I don't want to hear about a 50% match deposit from a site I am already on 10,000 times. I don't give a shit about new users, okay? Everybody watching your program is a user already. We are in this space for a reason. We are watching your videos for a reason. Stop shilling out new user like that. If it'd be so different. Like I think Prize Picks, you want to make some good PR Prize Picks, and feel free to give this to anybody else because I don't want to talk about Prize Picks on my fucking channel. That's just how it is. I don't want to promote some dumbass code, but I think a great way to go about it, and you can limit it to the first 150 users if you really want to. It'd probably be cheaper than doing a match deposit on every motherfucker who makes an account, but put an account or put a code out there that gives you $5 for users who are already on your platform. Like, if you're a content creator and you aren't pushing for that, like, what is wrong with you? Are you serious? Like, if somebody came up to me, and I've had several sites come up to me, and I keep saying, hey, no, you know, I don't really want to, like, advertise anything. I like being my own guy. But I would be like, and I haven't brought this up because I just kind of end the talks there, like, hey, I appreciate you reaching out, but I'm going to politely decline. But if I ever got into those conversations, I would be like, I would like to have a code for users of my channel who are already on your site. Let's just give me a $5 bonus to them. Is anybody going to complain over that? Like, if I gave you a code that you could put in to get $5 free or like a rebate or something, would you complain? No, it doesn't matter. It's $5. And it would probably save them more money than doing a match deposit on a $100 first deposit or something. So that's annoying. I don't like that type of content. Secondly, I don't like people just jerking each other off for the first 10 minutes. Like, guys, just go blast some fucking opera and suck each other off. Like, why are we doing it? Why are we opening a podcast for the first 10 minutes talking about, you know, I won a contest back in 2018. You know, look, if you've been in this space long enough, if you've played long enough, just like a race car driver and a bad accident, you know, if you race long enough, you're going to have a bad accident. If you play long enough, if you're around long enough, you're going to have big wins, you're going to have big losses. Like, I don't like a lot of the content out there right now. That's just where I'm at. So, yeah, I'm trying to not be that. I'm trying to at least be different here, you know. Some people like it, some people don't. Either way, that's where I'm at there. Let's see what's going on. Yeah, good luck to you, Eagles, as well. Thank you for saying this. I've thought the same thing many times. Yeah, I'm happy to have you. Happy. I'm glad that you feel the same way, Mark, because I feel the same way. You know, same thing with you, Eagles. I'm glad. 74 of you guys here. I didn't lose anybody during that rant, so yeah, everybody seems to agree with me there. Like, a lot of DFS content just sucks, dude. That's just how it is, man. That's why, like, betting shows, I'm not going to listen to betting shows. I'm not going to listen to betting content, you know? And I say that in a sense of, like, I don't want to listen to it. My job here is to determine where people are going to go. So I have everything on YouTube, everything on Spotify, everything on Apple, whatever the case may be, whatever dumb platform you guys are using, I listen to everything on 2X. So I hear everything, okay? That's not me, like, not liking something and not listening to it. I listen to everything, okay? And I can say that there's a lot of very difficult to listen to shows out there that I don't understand why people listen to out of their own enjoyment. I just don't understand it at all. Let's see. What else? So for me, in terms of what my one lineup is going to be, I have two drivers I know I'm playing for sure. Most people already know this, but it's Ty Dillon and Cody Ware. Okay, those are the two guys I am for sure playing. Past that, I still haven't determined where I want to go. I am going to fade. I know for a fact, because I'm doing my one line, so it's a lot of single entry lineups and stuff. I am going to fade Kyle Busch. That's the one stance I know for sure I'm taking. I'm fading Kyle Busch. Because if we can get his ownership specifically in single entry, even like 40, even the 44, because that's an expensive contest to max out. 33, if his ownership can push 50 to 60 in these contests. I certainly want to be on the opposite end of that, hopefully. So yeah, that is kind of where I am at there. Props to you for only accepting ads from people you believe. I haven't. Hell yeah, Wes. You know me, buddy boy. Look, like I'm gonna shit on Eric Estep for a second, real fast. It was so weird. Oh man, I forgot what video it was or something. He mentioned bump and grind at some point in some video, and then he was like, "Oh, I'm sorry, this is a family show." Ooh, I'm like, I feel kind of weird saying that. Like, what, bro? Come on, man. Like, what? I personally, like, I'm a very sex positive person, and I will talk about like that. If you know me in real life, look, we're gonna be talking about a lot of that stuff. It's like I don't understand the whole like true, even in this day and age, true taboo to like sexual conversations, I just don't understand. You want to find you rarely find a bigger supporter of the sex industry than me. I just don't understand the whole like still taboo nature of how people are like super uncomfortable with that stuff. Like I just don't get it at all. But hell yeah, hell yeah, Wes, you know me, that I would love it. I've joked about it and said it before. Like I would love if Adam and Eve would sponsor me. Like that would be a product and a service and a company that I would absolutely push. Like, I would much rather push that stuff because that'll make people way more happier than a fucking new deposit code for new users. Let's see. Oh, God. Yeah, dude. Like, that, I've never ran an ad. I'm so proud of that, and that's why I ask you guys. That's why I'm, like, when I, like, hey, join the Patreon, support me. Like, I feel like I can say that more because I'm not, like, you know, pumping dumb products that you don't want to listen to, pumping dumb ads that you don't want to listen to, pumping things that I don't use, you know, like even like products and stuff, like that. Well, like a Dollar Shave Club. You want to sponsor me? I use Dollar Shave Club. Okay. What else? I'm trying to think of that beard trimmer, Manscaped. I'm not gonna fucking advertise Manscaped. That's fucking scam. You know what? Like I will never push anything that I don't personally use. That's just how I want it to be. And yeah. Anyway, sorry about that. Happy to have you here, DFS Taco. Glad you're joining me. I'm glad you threw that in there. Is a more dangerous booth pair? I know, dude. I'm waiting for somebody to say, man, we got a killer booth up there for the 500. I've been waiting to hear that stuff. And Mike Joy, you better watch out making jokes about Clint Boyer and Tony Stewart because they will kill you. They will absolutely kill you and get away with it, man. These people have both, you know, Tony Stewart ran over an innocent child just trying to enjoy his day, and Clint Boyer ended just a woman in the prime of her life, you know. Who cares if she happened to be on that on-ramp? You know, she was having a good time, and he ruined it. Let's see. If you stop doing your live restraining your loose followers, for sure. It's not necessarily the loose followers. I'm not necessarily concerned about followers. I'm primarily focused on just supporting people on Patreon. And by that, I mean, like, if you support us, I will go, I'll bend over backwards helping you out, which if you are part of the Patreon, you've ever had an issue, if you've ever talked to me, if you ever need anything, most of the time I answer you within like the hour. If I'm sleeping or whatever and I wake up, I answer you like first thing in the morning. I always respond within 24 hours, whether that's friends, work, whatever the case is. I will get back to you within the day. There's a lot of people who don't do that. Let's see. How did you do on Trucks and Xfinity? Lost my ass, buddy boy. It's been a rough week so far. Forget how much I missed your rants, brother. Doug, love it, man. Happy to have you here. I'm glad that people are happy with it and stuff like that. At least people enjoy it. I do appreciate it. Let's see. What else do I got here? What else do you guys want to talk about? Any last minute questions? Any last minute things? As I said, I'll be joining Sheets on True DFS top of the hour. So I'll probably end this in 5 minutes. You know, rest my voice, get some water, and then go live there. Let's see. Favorite people to fade today? Good question, Kyle. Thank you for throwing that out there. Favorite people to fade? Okay, and this is why I like questions at this point, because, you know, I spent the first 10 minutes really going over who I think are going to be optimal, who I think how people are going to play. People for me, something screwed up to where I couldn't look at the spreadsheet. Brandon sent a message in Discord and had the sheet. Yeah, like if you guys have issues, I am here for you. I am going to fix that as soon as possible, and I won't stop until like you have that. I had that with well, Sterling, you were this morning, and one guy, I helped him out, and it just ended up that he wasn't going into the right part of his Google Drive, but I helped him out. Anyway, what is it? Bring back rain check slates. That's if it starts, man. Those are I never played in those, to be honest with you. Especially when they change the salaries. I never did that. Sorry, Kyle. Favorite people to fade today? Kyle Busch, Denny Hamlin, Tyler Reddick, Justin Haley, Ricky Stenhouse Jr., and AJ. Those would be my primary fades. I'm honestly okay eating the chalk with Travis. Jimmy's concerning because I'm worried that he will race up front all day. I don't think Jimmy is going to ride. So Jimmy would probably be the next guy there. But Travis, I'm okay with eating the chalk with. Ty Dillon, I'm going to eat the chalk. Ty Gibbs, I don't think he's going to carry as much ownership, and he's probably a good play there. So I wouldn't necessarily like go out of my way to fade Gibbs, but those would be the guys that I would fade there. Miss, but what are your thoughts on Gillen? The guy is starting 14th. I would not play him in any format. That is what I would do there. For any of you guys joining me, I need to probably retweet this on Twitter, although I've already put it out. Let me see real quick. Damn, nobody liked it. One person liked it. Shout out to you, Charlotte Walker. I appreciate you liking my tweet because nobody else did, and it was seen 136 times. If you guys are joining me right now, first 10 minutes, first 10, 15, actually kind of doing housekeeping. So first 15, talked about strategies, talked about like the real way that this race is going to be optimal. Like who the good plays are, which is like nearly everybody in the back half of the field. A lot of good plays there. I'd be very shocked if we get like a really like shocking optimal lineup. So I kind of address that there, and then I talk about like, hey, where's ownership kind of going to go, things like that. So yeah, if you're just here and you're hearing me rant, we've kind of already talked about it. It's Daytona 500. Like we can only talk about so many things. We kind of all know where we want to go and things like that. Let's see. DFS Taco, thank you for liking that. Thank you for showing me some love there. I do appreciate it, Taco. Are you still with DFS Army, or are you by yourself? I haven't seen DFS Army video in a while. Yeah, same to you, Taco. Good luck this season. And Taco, I'm gonna just say this real fast. Taco has been a supporter on the Patreon before, so I appreciate that. Let's see. Will you use anyone starting above Hamlin, or who would I recommend for 20? Truex, Zane Smith, Hamlin would be the only people. Oh, Pearce, but he's 20th. But inside top 20, Hamlin, Smith, Truex would be the Bubba Wallace as well. Those would be the four guys I would play inside the top 20. And those would probably be the highest guys that I would go in any format if I was playing just a ton of people there. What is a good pivot off of Kyle and JJ? Ty Gibbs, probably Ricky Stenhouse Jr., Chase Briscoe. Those guys should just in general have less ownership than Kyle Busch and Jimmy. It's not going to be major, but any percentage in this situation will count. And those would be the direct pivots off of that. Or you could just be like me and play some good old Rick Ware cars. No, thank you so much for being here, Mark. I do appreciate it. David, best of luck. I think I'm going to end it here, guys. 80 of you guys here, 33 likes. I do appreciate it. I never ask you guys to like. I never ask you guys to subscribe. If you guys want to do that, I appreciate it. If you guys want to support. Hey, Wes, thank you very much for the super chat. I was just about to mention that. Thank you very much for the continued support. And yeah, just best of luck, guys. Just thank you for always being here, listening to my stuff, and best of luck this year. And I'm going to be here all year. I'm going to keep making videos, not making videos, but I'm gonna try and be way more transparent this year and record me building lines for everything, whether they work out or not. Just showing you how I go about things, talking about things in detail, whether that's behind the paywall, whether that's post slate lock, and whatever the case may be. I want to try and just help as many people out as possible because I don't know if I'm going to be doing this next year. So let's make this the best year ever. So I will see you guys later. Yeah, save the live chat. I will. At this point, Wes, it's looking good. I do appreciate it. Big, best of luck. Please link to next stream with Sheets play. I don't think it'll be up. I will retweet it on Twitter. If you just search up True DFS, it'll pop up at 10 o'clock and stuff. I don't think Sheets has it up yet. But I'll put it on Twitter for you guys. All right, I'll see you guys in videos this next week talking about round 2 of the NASCAR season. I'll see you guys later. See you guys then. Thank you for being here. Best of luck today. Let's flip some people over, you know.